Hello once again, our most developed student. My name is Confident. Welcome to the continuation of our revision session for grade 11 students. And we looked at a few questions in the previous lesson. So if this is your first time coming in contact with this video, it means you have missed a few questions. The best thing I'll encourage you to do as a grade 11 is to subscribe to this channel so that every time there is a new video, you will be notified. It becomes easier if you ensure that the notification bell is turned on. So just turn on that notification bell and it gives you a notification every time there's a new video. So I'll be loading a couple of these videos just as you're preparing for your June exam so that you can get ready. So we did question 1 and we've done question 1.1 in the previous video, 1.1.2 and 1.1.3. So we have done this part. Now the next part that we are looking at is question 1.1.4. We are still looking at algebra, which says we need to solve for x, and this question is 3 marks, so it's not much demanding. So how do you go about this? To say you are given here, look at this, it says x squared, so it's 1.1.4. so it says you are given x squared plus 7x is less than 0. So now you need to solve this. Now students again get confused to say, how do I solve for x here? It's easier. You have to use factorization. As you can see that x is common. I'm going to use this version just for the sake of those who say, okay, this was not necessary for you to do the quadratic equation. So I'm going to factorize x out. You can see that x is common. So when I'm factorizing x out, it's more like I'm saying x into this x squared. So one of the x will cancel, remaining with 1. So you will have x here plus, again, we are saying 7x divided by x. So x into 7x, cancel the x, you can see 7 is remaining there. So you've got 7. This is less than 0. What am I trying to say? If you open this bracket, x times x, you get that x squared, and then x times 7, you get that 7x. You see that? But now, I just want to say what, okay, that is that. So the way to actually approach this, we say, get your critical values. So just in this step here, the step I'm doing is find your critical values. I'll call it CV, critical values. So when you're finding your critical values, you are going to equate, forget about the sign, just equate this to 0 as if you're solving an equation. So what does it mean? At this stage, you can say x is equal to 0, this x, or the other bracket, which is x plus 7 is equal to 0. Then the positive 7, you need to solve for x there. It crosses the sign to become x is equal to negative 7. You see this? But now I still vouch for the quadratic formula, which, remember, x, let me do this for the quadratic formula to say, if I'm given that equation x squared plus 7x, if I was solving this to say this is equal to 0, and I'm using the quadratic formula, remember I said the general form is what? Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So students get confused now to say, when I'm solving it in this format, how do I solve this? That's where the confusion is. So what you do then, you are going to match the general form. You have your x squared, yes. You have your plus 7x, so far so good. But since you don't have 0, you use a placeholder, and that placeholder is 0, is equal to 0. We don't have a c, so the c is the placeholder for c that you're going to use there is a 0. So now if you look at it, you can then say my a, remember there is a default 1 there, my b with the sign, you see the 7, and my c, you see that. So what you have, your a is equal to 1, your b is equal to 7, your c is equal to 0. You can apply then the formula here to say x is equal to, then you've got minus b plus or minus square root of, remember that, square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. You see that? So now you substitute to say x is equal to minus, and then b is 7, put in brackets, plus or minus square root of b squared, it's 7 squared, minus 4, my a is 1 and my c is 0, you see that, divided by 2 and a is 1. So this then will be able to give you to say what is the value of x. If you can use the calculator at that stage, you'll be able then to simplify this into a single answer. So let me just grab my calculator. So we have minus bracket 7, and then we have a plus, and then we've got square root of bracket 7 squared minus 4 1 into 0, and then this is all over here. You've got 2 and 1, see that, then equal to the first one, x is equal to 0. You go back here, put a minus, and it'll give you x is equal to minus 7. So x is equal to 0 or x is equal to negative 7. This is the better way, trust me. This is a much better way, because some students, in a way, here they get it confused here. If I can just take it from here to say they get it confused, sometimes they'll be given x squared plus 7x, they are saying equal to 0. They see that x is common, so they divide by x here to say I'm dividing by x. When they divide by x, they'll be left with x plus 7 equal to 0, and then they'll have x is equal to minus 7. You see, now you still have one answer, x is minus 7 is correct, but you have lost the other value, which is x is equal to 0, because when it's squared, it means you must come up with two answers. To avoid that, that's why I wrote for the what? For the quadratic equation. So anyway, what were you doing? I said this is used to find the critical values. So let me take it actually up here to say you have got your critical values. That is the most important thing here, to get the critical values. So what are the critical values? We are saying x is equal to 0 and x is equal to minus 7. Now, how do you find your answer? Then you come up with a number line. That is where the answer is. Then you do your critical values to say, remember, negative 7, it starts before 0. So you have here minus 7, and then you've got 0. This is a number line. It increases, positive this side, negative this side. It's a normal number line. So I'm just reminding you of that. So with that, what you need to do is to test your values. Where do you test them? You test them into the question. So what we do is I come here in this particular question, or let me write everything down to show you what I mean when I'm saying test your values. So let me erase this. So now remember, the question is I'm given x squared plus 7x is less than 0. So I'm saying we need to test some values. So what you do is you choose a number before 7. Let's choose any number before 7 in this direction. Maybe you choose negative 9. So what we do is we're going to test negative 9 here. You are going to say minus 9, remember it's in bracket, squared plus 7 minus 9. Now you're going to test this equal to, don't worry with the sign, you are just testing that. You're going to be testing to say what sign does it give? Is it a positive or it's a negative? What is important is the sign. So you come here and say negative 9 squared plus 7 negative 9 equal to, see I'm getting, don't worry with the answer, what is important is the sign. It's positive 18, so here you say positive. You can test any number. It can be minus 10, it can be minus 50, anything that you're going to test, it will always give you a positive. For example, if I did with the calculator here, I try negative 50, so I've got bracket minus 50 squared plus 7 negative 50. Seeing that, then it gives me the answer will always be positive. So what is important is not the answer but the sign. So when you have tested with that, you choose another number between minus 7 and 0. So we can try maybe say minus 2. We can try minus 2 here. But any number between negative 7 and 0, you can choose from minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Any number, then what you'll have is minus 2 squared plus 7 negative 2. Remember here we got a positive 18. I say don't worry with that, you focus on the sign. So what am I going to get if I use minus 2 in this case? So it will be bracket negative 2 squared plus 7 negative 2. And then I'm getting a negative 10. So I've got minus 10. As I say, don't worry with the 10. Focus on the sign. That's what you write there. Now you choose a number after 0. And then a number after 0, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's choose maybe 5. Any number as long as it is after 0. So here I'll put 5 squared plus 7 and 5 is equal to, again, just rely on your calculator to say 5 squared plus 7, 5. What am I getting? I'm getting 60, but the sign is important. So if it's just 60, it means it's positive 60. Forget about that. Focus on the sign and you're getting a positive. Now, this is common. The answers are predictable. This is what I mean. If you get a positive, you'll get a negative, then another positive. Or if you start with a negative, you'll get another negative there and the positive will be in the center. You get these two options, either negative, negative, or positive, negative, positive. It's predictable. You cannot get negative, negative, positive, or similar signs following each other. It means you made an error. So that's what I want to bring that to you. Now, when you have done that, I'm going to erase now. Remember, we're just finding out, we're just testing here. So this is not necessary for your answer. What is important is what you have. They need to see the signs. This is part of your working. Don't leave this is part of your working. So you need to show this. That's how you arrive at your answer. Now, let's bring the question back again. It said what? X squared plus 7x is less than 0. Now, you need to understand what does the word less mean. If something is less than 0, what are the numbers that are less than 0 or smaller than 0? Another word for less is smaller than. Which numbers are smaller than 0? It can be minus 1, minus 2 is smaller than 0, minus 50, anything that is what? Negative. Look at the sign. As long as it is negative, it means it's smaller than 0. So now, which means the word less than 0, that word less, it means it represents what? The negative sign. I think that anything less than, it's standing for the negative sign. So what you do is you come here and look for what is linking that sign less than. Remember, the word less than is standing for the negative sign. So you come here and say, I see a less than here. So which means the opposite is true. Something greater than 0. Any number that is greater than 0 is positive. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this represents greater than. This represents greater than. So when you see a negative, remember it's less than. When you see a positive, it means greater than. So which means, since this question is asking us to focus on something that is less than 0, because it says 7x is less than 0. They want us to focus on less than. This is my region that I'm interested in. I think that I'm interested in that region. So how do I write my answers? The answer that I'm looking for is between minus 7 and 0. This is the between that I'm looking for. So what you do is you write your x in the center, you have your minus 7 this side, you have your 0 this side, and then you do those two signs. That's how you write it. I repeat again, not complicated. Whenever, if whatever you want is between 2 points, I'll call this x1 and I'll call this x2. If what I want is between these 2 points, my main x will be here. I put it in the center. Now you just have those 2 signs. Don't do them like that. No, don't make them face like that. No, they are always facing like this. What does it mean, or how do we read this? It means x1 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to x2. So you're using the less sign. The less sign. You are maintaining the less sign. So it's always like that. Please take note that this sign is not the same sign that you are maintaining, because you will get everything confused. It's not that this sign is that sign. No, just focus on what is the region. The region is between -7 and 0. You put your x and then you say, from there I have that sign, I have that sign. If they gave equal to, you also put equal to. Now since they didn't put equal to, the only thing then we have is our answer is -7 is less than x, x is less than 0. That is the final answer. Then you get 3 marks for that. I'm going to do more of these inequalities so that you can get more practice. Just check again, as I said, subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified every time I bring in some videos. So I'm going to do quite a few videos later on this. Let's go to 1.1.5. You are supposed to what? Here you are supposed to solve for x, and look at the mark allocation here is 4 marks, and it mustn't be something heavy, but it's very important for you to understand this. Look at this. What is this? They are saying here you are given 3 to the exponent x plus 3 minus 3 to the exponent x plus 2 is equal to 486. It's 4 marks. You are supposed to solve for x. Now, these questions, the way they give them to you, they have something similar, common. There's something about them. But now, look at this. How do you approach this in a simpler way? We use this law of exponents, which say, if you are given, for example, a to the power m plus n, such as x to the power x plus 3, 3 to the power x plus 3, similar to that. There is a law which says, if these exponents are adding, you have got a to the power of m times a to the power of n. I hope you can recall that. This is the first law of exponents. When you multiply, when the bases are the same, you add the exponents. So you can read it this direction, you can read it this direction. But now we want to read it the way I have written it, going from left to right. So now, how do I then compare this and compare that? It means I can rewrite this to say 3 to the power x plus 3 same as 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of 2. You see, I'm splitting them apart, which is 486. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that so that I can factorize this out. That was the main reason. So that I can factorize 3 to the power of x. Remember, when you're factorizing, it's as good as you are cancelling that into that, you are left with that, and cancelling that, you are left with that. You're seeing that? That is what factorizing is all about. So let me take that back. So I said I'm factorizing what? 3 to the power of x. If let me use a different color so that it can make sense to you. I'm taking out that 3 to the power of x there and there. So what do I have inside the bracket? Remember, it's like I'm cancelling that. So what do you see? I'm left with 3 to the power of 3 minus, again I'm cancelling that, I'm left with 3 to the power of 2. I think that's what I'm having. This is equal to 486. Now you don't need to worry with how am I going to solve this. Let the calculator do the job. You are going to use the calculator to say what is 3 to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 2. Just let the calculator do that. Is 18. So you have got 3 to the power of x bracket 18 is equal to 486. See, that is more simpler now. You don't want that 18 is multiplying, so you divide by 18. Remember, the opposite of multiplication is division. So you divide by 18 there. this is how you can take out 18. Don't transpose. No, 18 cannot jump the equal sign because it's combined or it's glued together by the multiplication sign. The multiplication sign is kind of a glue whereby it holds 3x and 18 together, and it cannot leave it except by division. So you have got 3 to the power of x becoming, then when you divide there, 486 divided by 18, see what you get? You get 27. So you've got 27 there. They'll always give you something that makes sense. Now you need to find ways to say, if I'm here 27, you need to know such relationships, 27 and 3, and if I get my calculator, you'll see that 3 cubed is what? Is 27, you see? So this is saying 3 to the power of x is equal to 3 to the power of 3. Such relationships you need to know. Now there is a rule or a law which says if you have got a to the power of x is equal to a to the power of y, look, the bases are the same, therefore you equate exponents. X is equal to what? Is equal to y. You're allowed to do that. So even here you're going to say, since 3 is 3, the bases are the same, therefore x here is equal to 3. That is the answer, and you can be rest assured this is correct. I think that. So this is how you solve for x. But another thing, do you just leave your answer like that? Absolutely no. If x is equal to 3, you come to your x here, you put a 3, you come to the x here, you put a 3, and then you check, is it going to give me 486 on the right hand side? So it's 3 to the power of 3 plus 3, and then minus 3 to the power of 3 plus 2. Do that, there it is, it balances. Left hand side is equal to right hand side. So these are the things you need to verify with yourself just to ensure that you're getting everything right. Now let's look at question 1.2. Again, my time won't allow me to go to question 2, but I'm going to end here at question 1.2. Say you are given x squared plus 2xy minus 8y squared is equal to 0. Right? Determine the value of values of the ratio x over y. So you see it's a ratio here, x over y. But now how do you solve this? Look at this. It looks a bit strange. X squared plus 2xy minus 8y squared is equal to 0. Now I know it looks a bit funny, but you need to know how to factorize this. It's funny to say this, but the quadratic equation can still work here. Now forget about the x and the y. Let's focus on, let's say we were solving for x, to say what is the general form of the quadratic formula. The general form, remember, is a x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Still remember that. I can actually identify to you and say, look at this. This is your a being 1. Look at your b. This is your b being plus 2. Look at your c. This is your c. So don't take the variables, just take the numbers. You can actually solve, find the values of x here by saying, remember, let's say you're solving for x. Look what you're gonna come up with. So my a is 1, my b is 2, my c is -8. Remember, it's x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Just want to show you a few things like that. So you've got x is equal to, actually now, okay, let me first do this so that you can see what I'm doing. So what we have here, minus b here is going to be minus bracket 2 plus or minus square root of, is positive. There, it's 2 squared minus 4. My a is 1. My b is what? My c is -8 minus 4ac all over 2 and 1. Let's get the answer here, and x is equal to. Let's get the answer here and see what it gives us. So I've got fraction negative 2 plus square root of minus 2 squared minus 4, and my a is 1 and my c is negative 8, and then all over 2 and 1. See that? Equal to, look, the first value I'm getting, x is equal to 2. Let's play back, and minus, and I'm getting x is equal to minus 4. So it's 2 and minus 4. Now there comes the scenario to say I was not finding x only. Look at this. I've got x and y. So I can come here and say, instead of saying x, I'll be saying xy. I say xy, I say xy, I say xy. Am I right? No, that's not right. I don't want to put it like that. But let's look at it like this way. How do I convert my answer now? The way to convert your answer here, you see x is equal to 2, x is equal to minus 4. If I was using these brackets, look at this, I will have, take this back, it will be minus 2, and take this back from negative, it will be a 4. Are you getting that? But now I need to find something that when I multiply these brackets, when I say here minus 2 times minus 4, what must I get? I must get what? Y squared. So obviously to get y squared here, I need to add y, I need to add y. Are you seeing that? And then with that, if I put my x and I put my x here, and then it will be x, remember this is plus 4, so x minus 2, x plus 4, that is equal to 0. So you have in a way seen that it's actually supposed to be here, the y was supposed to be here. That's the way. So x is equal to 2y, x is equal to minus 4y. So here though, I will then continue to say x minus 2y is equal to 0. You see the factorization, and x plus 4y is equal to 0. What did the question say? The question says we need to determine the values of the ratio x over y. So it's mainly factorization here that they were trying to bring. To say here, you're going to say x is equal to 2y. You see the part that we had here. So you divide by what? You divide by y, divide by y. Why am I doing that? Because they say they want the ratio of what? They want the ratio of x over y. Look at the question there. They want to have x over y. So you do the same thing here to say x over y. What do you have there? It gives us 2. What about the other one? X is equal to, take it back there, it's minus 4y, which is that part. So we have got divide by y, divide by y. So x over y is equal to, when you cancel there, it's minus 4. So this is the first answer that they wanted there. Are you seeing that? And then the other one says, hence, that word hence, be careful of that word. When they say hence, they are saying from what you were doing in question 1.2.1, continue to determine the values of x and y if x plus y is equal to 6. Remember the word hence? Hence means continue. How many marks that is? 5 marks. Hence means continue from the previous question and continue solving whatever down. So here, sometimes they use the word hence or otherwise. So they didn't give us the otherwise. They say hence, if you are given x plus y is equal to 6, continue finding x and y. So let me write this to say, here we have x plus y is equal to 6. But don't forget, we have these ratios, x over y is equal to 2 and y over x is equal to that. Or you can actually say to yourself, I have these, what do you call this? Where is this? X is equal to, I can actually focus on this part. You know, there are many ways of solving this. X is equal to 2y or x is equal to minus 4y. I can come here and use those values because it's coming from that. But let me use this to say, if I say here, take for example y to the other side, I'll say x is equal to 6 minus y. See that? So where I have x here, I can come and substitute that value there. So I can say where there was 6, I can say, x, it will be 6 from here. Let me write it first so that I don't confuse you. So where I had x over y is equal to 2, but my x now is this equation, where I can then say here 6 minus y over y is equal to 2. Do you see what is happening there? And then from here I can multiply by y on both sides, so that I can do that to say 6 minus y is equal to 2y. It's back again to this equation I told you to say x is equal to 2y, but I said what is my x? X is 6 minus y. So when you can put here this thing of 6 minus y, you will have 6 minus y is equal to 2y. See that? So it's the same thing. So whenever you've got that, you have got 6 is equal to, take minus y to join the other y there, which is 2y plus y. It becomes easier. So 6 is equal to 2y plus y is 3y. So it's 1 plus 1. So you add 1 plus 1 is 3. Now they are multiplying. How do you separate 3 from y? Opposite of multiplication is division. See that? Then you are going to have y is equal to 6 divided by 3 is 2. That's the first answer. Y is equal to 2. You come back again on the other one. Here, remember you said what is x? We say x is equal to 6 minus y. You are going to take that x that is there to substitute with 6 minus y. So you have got 6 minus y over y, just like we did here. You are saying equal to what? Equal to minus 4. Do the same thing, multiply by y, cancel there. You have got 6 minus y is equal to minus 4y, and then take y to join the other side. You have got 6 is equal to minus 4y plus y. So in other ways, you are saying with your calculator, minus 4 plus 1, you'll get minus 3y. So you've got 6. Similarly, divide by negative 3. All these rely on your calculator. Now, minus 3 divided by 6 is negative 2 is equal to y. Now, the question was what? The question was, hence determine the values of x and y. So we know the value of y. There are two of them. We have got y is equal to what? Y is equal to 2 and y is equal to minus 2. So you can come here and say y is equal to 2, and then when y is equal to 2, what does it say about x? Since you have got y is equal to 2, you come back to this equation here. Remember, x is equal to 6 minus y, but the first one you're saying y is equal to 2, so it will become what? X is equal to 6 minus 2, so x is equal to 4. There is the first set of values. So you can say when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 2. That's the first set of values. You get the second set. What is the second set? When y is equal to negative 2. You do the same thing. X is equal to 6 minus y. Then you have got x is equal to 6 minus, but now y is what? Negative 2. So x is equal to 6 plus 2, and x is equal to 8. So how do you write it? You are going to say when x is equal to 8, y is equal to negative 2. These are also another set of values. Do you need to test them? Of course. So the first one, what did you say? When x is 4, y is 2. You come here in the original and say when x is 4, y is equal to 2. And the other one, what was it? It was saying when x is 8, y is minus 2. So you say when x is 8, or x is equal to 8, y is equal to negative 2. Then you check your calculator is the one that is going to assist you. You're going to prove that. And then when you do that with the calculator, let's start with the first one. To say x squared, remember x is 4 squared plus 2, and then x is 4, y is what? Y is 2, 4xy, minus 8, y squared is 2 squared. It must give us a 0. There I'm getting a 0. Let's try with the other one now. When x is 8, so where there was 4, I'm going to put 8, and where there was 4 here, I'm gonna put 8, and then where there is 2, I'm now putting -2. It's a -2, so xy minus y squared, which is minus 2 squared, equal to, I'm also getting a 0. So that's how you solve that. You can see that it does balance. So guys, it's still revision. It's still me trying to help you revise for your final exam. I hope this is indeed of benefit to you. Remember, subscribe, ensure the notification bell is turned on, and you'll be able to get follow-up videos every time we load. Remember, this is revision for your June. I want you to be prepared for your final exams. Leave me comments. Which sections do you want me to cover so that I can be sensitive whenever I come to that topic. We have come to the end of our lesson. Thank you.